So let's pick up the remaining quests here from the three of the main guys that are here. Boros, it is good to see you again, Miala. I have a quandary that you might be able to solve. Our agents situated behind Sunhawk lines have reported seeing Sunhawk soldiers parsing an unusual document. Unfortunately, we have been unsuccessful in acquiring a copy of the document for ourselves. I need you to go out in the field and try to recover the document. I am certain that if you apply enough pressure, a Sunhawk agent will turn over the information that we seek. I leave the use of force to your discretion.
May your days be long.
So now let's go ahead and pick up the other two, the question from these two guys.
I need a target.
May the light embrace you.
I would not ask you to single-handedly bear the burden of destroying the Vector Coil and slaying Saronas, Miala. However, I believe that you can be of some help in clearing the way for others that might take on such a dangerous assignment. Take the road going north out of Bloodwatch and follow it until you get to the fork. Once there, take the left road and follow it until you see the Vindicator's Rest. It will be slightly west of the road itself. Corin will be waiting for you. You mean the people I've already met? So just head back there. Okay.
Blessings upon you.
The Naru have not forgotten us.
As we've gotten ourselves established here at Bloodwatch, I've been sending out survey teams to create more reliable maps of the island. In most cases, they return unharmed with the data that we need, but the team that I sent east to the ruins has not reported back. I worry about what might have happened to them, but I can't spare the men to send another mission after them. Find them, Miala, and lend them any assistance that they require to return with their survey data.
Do not lose faith.
Let's see if we can go find that survey team. If you're wondering why I'm putting this off, it's because it's all the way down here, which is basically near the area where it's like, hey, you can now leave this place and go to the main area, And I'm thinking, okay, that might be like the quest that like starts, that's basically supposed to be the like, hey, here's the bigger open world for the Draenei. Well, I think we found the team. We'll pay for this. The bodies of the Draenei survey team are scattered all over the ground here. Pierced by Naga weaponry, the area is littered with the remains of their supplies and survey equipment. But their data crystals are nowhere to be seen. It's too late to assist the cartographers in completing their mission, but it appears they collected the data Harbinger Mikolas was expecting. The crystal storing their survey information was not among their ransacked packs, so it must be in the hands of the Wraith-scale Naga. You know that Harbinger Mikolas will be saddened by the loss of the survey crew, but would want to salvage the survey data. Because at least that means their deaths would not be in vain. Since that data can be used to then try and prevent something like this from happening. Alright, so now I gotta just start killing a bunch of Naga until one of them drops it.
It's too far away.
The void. Don't worry, I'll have some fun with some of the other classes. There's the crystal. I figured, you know, I made some changes to the some of the other characters that we're still going to be looking at to try and make it where I can be able to show you guys each class in the game, with obviously, as I mentioned, the exception of the Demon Hunter and Death Knight. So I've shown you the Shaman via the Troll. We'll see the Warlock again. I showed you the Paladin, and I'm now showing you the Priest. We'll be taking a look at another class with the next character that we check out the starter zone for. Let's go ahead and get this Sunhawk missive. And then we will see what's going on over there. Although I think that might be simply directing us to the next portion, like the next main portion of the story, but we'll see. So perhaps we'll just get the missive, and then we will just turn it in. Spies.
Good fortune.
Okay. By the way, Vampiric Embrace fills you with the Embrace of Shadow Energy for 15 seconds, causing you to heal a nearby ally for 85% of a single target spell hit. So it's basically pointless if you don't have any allies. So there's basically no point in me using it. Unless it really does, like, just a nearby random player. But that's usually the kind of thing you want to use if you're in a party, like a dungeon group, or a raid group. And before you start going, oh, you know, I've run into Shadow Priests both in Mythic Plus dungeons as well as raids. I will say I rather prefer Flash Heal instead of Shadow Meld. So if you're, or Shadow Mend. If you're wondering what Shadow Mend does, wraps an ally in shadows, and you can do this to yourself as well, which heals you, but at a price. You'll take 20 damage every second until they have taken 204 total damage from all sources or leave combat. And it heals you for 407. So it heals, but also damages. So it's kind of like, great. Alright. And Void Eruption! Boom! There's the missive. Alright. Let's go turn these in. There's a chest there. Ah. I got... Oh, I love Days. Just love Days. It's so wonderful. I wasn't at all happy when they finally came out with the mount equipment that makes it where you can make it where Days never happens again when you're mounted. Yeah, forget the walking on water equipment. It's all about getting rid of that stupid Days.
Arcanan Poros.
Were you able to find out what was keeping the survey team from returning? They were killed by the Naga. You tell him of the survey team's fate. He accepts the crystal from you, but remains silent for a long moment. They were good men, Miala, and they knew their mission would be dangerous. I am grateful for your help in locating the team and recovering the crystal. We've lost too many good men already, and our mission has only just begun. Now that we have the baseline crystal, we're going to need more samples from more dangerous areas of the island to complete the set I will be sending to the Exodar. The next sample must come from the crystals controlled by the Blood Elves in the Bloodwood area to the northwest of the Bloodwatch. I have heard reports that they alter and harvest the crystals for use in some magical apparatus. See if you can find one that has not yet been incorporated into one of their devices, and mine a sample from it.
Remember the lessons of the past.
Again, ignore all this. Pretend it's not actually happening. Oh, hey, look, someone else using the same mount.
Good fortune.
He eyes the document. This is in Thalassian. Well, fortunately, I know just the person that can translate it. Our chief interrogator, Alicia, is fluent in Thalassian. Take the document to her and see what she has to say.
Blessings upon your family.
Good fortune.
I'm a bit busy here, Agent Miana. This better be important. I have this document from Vindicator Boros. If what this document says is true, the Blood Elves have opened a portal to the Outland. It would certainly explain their seemingly endless numbers. I need you to deliver the translated documents to Velen, personally, Miala. I don't trust that deranged messenger. Explain to the Prophet that the Blood Elves are receiving reinforcements in the Outland, and that they have a spy amongst the Draenei at the Exodar. Velen resides in the Vault of Lights, inside the Exodar. Make haste!
Remain vigilant.
Hey. She wants me to go deliver it to Velen personally. Who's right here? Let's pretend he's not right here. Let's take a moment to just head on over this way. Let's go after this. Because he's supposed to be at the Exodar. You gotta love the way, when you're trying to show and tell, a narrative story here, and of course it's an MMO, and other players are doing it and making it kind of feel out of order, and yeah. Notice, again, I'm pointing out how many of these there are around here with these crystals and, yeah. Alright, let's see. Okay. Let's take this crystal sample back to Mikolas.
Chronokai Christor.
Do you have the second crystal sample? This shard is much different from the initial sample. Do you see how it pulsates like that? That is worrisome. I'll make a note in my report of the alterations that the Blood Elves appear to have made to this crystal. Thank you again for your help. There's just one sample remaining before I can send this set of crystals to the Exodar. Miala, the final sample must come from the Satyr stronghold of Axarian to the northwest. I'm not certain what to expect from this crystal sample, but I am sure that there will be some signs of corruption. Take care to mind your shard from the crystal that looks like the ones that you took your previous samples from, or else our researchers cannot make a valid comparison.
Dionys Aka.
Disappear, Velen. go back to that Satyr area over there. Yes, I did have to, like, I had to transfer gold from other characters to single character to be able to purchase this mount, but man, it was worth it. This mount is awesome. I really like this mount. Plus, in lore, these things are death machines. They are, like, just death walking. Like, you can summon this thing as an ability on Argus and Legion. It's got, like, a big 10-minute cooldown. Like, you summon it, like, and you can use it for, like, I don't know, was it, like, 30 seconds or something like that? And just whatever's in front of you will die. Just, it doesn't even matter. Like, you have this giant ball of health elite. You use this thing, it dies. Like, oh man, I can hardly damage it. You then summon this thing, and then it dies. Like, it is just insane how strong this thing is. You know, gameplay-wise with that ability. But it also plays into the whole thing about how it works in lore. Because that's how powerful it is in lore. And the Alliance have a bunch of these just kind of on standby in BFA, except that the writers just apparently forgot that. I bring that up because when you have the reality that the Alliance have a bunch of these, and I say the Alliance have a bunch of these because they had the Army of Light officially join the Alliance. I even showed that quest where it showed them actually officially joining the Alliance along with Turalyon. Which means they have a whole army of these giant warframes, like, on call to use on behalf of the Alliance. And a number of people's problem when it came to the story, once they brought up the thing, you know, when the thing about Teldrassil came up, for some people it was like, well, I mean, Teldrassil is such an atrocity that at that point the gloves are off, and there's just no reason the Alliance should not have an army of these things just absolutely annihilating, you know, the Horde as well as the Vindicar. You know, the spaceship with a orbital cannon. You know? It's like, at that point, when something like Teldrassil happens, like, there's no reason that they, you know, should not use them. Because at that point, like, everything's on the table and the gloves are off. Okay.
Arcanon Poros.
I got the last sample. That rounds out the set. All that remains is to box them and send them to the Exodar. Don't get me wrong, Miala. I am sure that the research is valuable, but we are faced with a number of other pressing problems out here.
Do not lose faith.
Okay. So now... Actually, let's go ahead and just go ahead and do this one, because I'm not entirely sure which quest it's going to tell me to do next. Because we can always just, like, hearth back and then fly over to the Exodar, and then fly back out here to continue. I may go ahead and just turn in the Newfound Allies quest when we get there. I mean, it's just based on, like, you know, what it's saying for us to do. To go meet Huntress Nightbow. It's like, okay. You know, to me, like, that's telling me, hey, this is the culmination of the diplomatic relations that you have been building with these people from the Alliance that have been here since the Draenei just got here, you know. it kind of like culminates. Like once you're done with your questing both in Azure Mist and Blood Mist, it's like, hey, let's go, continue to meet up and talk with these newfound allies of ours.
The Naru have not forgotten us.
Perhaps you will be the one to deliver our people into a new age of prosperity and peace. Only the most battle-hardened, noble, and positively fearless will submit to Lagoso's mission. Which is this guy. Alright. I'm gonna hold off. Because I want to be able to pick both of these up, like, simultaneously. Because it's gonna be something that's like, okay, do this. So for now, let's go ahead and head on over to Azure Mist and turn both of these in. And then we'll come back here and do those 2 quests. I somewhat remember, like, kind of like what the certain quests are, like, the big finale for this area is. But at the same time, it's like, how am I only 4 of 8 through this so far? You know? I like this mount. I really like this mount, as well as the one that that you get on the Horde. But then again, I've always been a sucker for wolf mounts, and being able to actually, I'm sure for some players this is a big deal, because there are certain mounts that you just cannot be able to use or get access to on certain factions. There are hardly any wolf, well, maybe not hardly any. There's not many wolf mounts available to Alliance players, because wolves are usually mounts that are used for the Horde. That's like for orcs, that's one of the primary mounts that you can purchase in Orgrimmar. That was like the orc mount going back to vanilla. And a horse was an Alliance mount, especially for humans.
Warm wishes to you. Be kind to those less.
So let's just say it's cool when it comes to this being able to get access to a wolf mount on Alliance as well as a horse mount on Horde. Just kind of adds to that whole thing I've talked about, that unification and unity thing from Legion, which is why the war stuff in BFA was so stupid. Oh, sorry. Anytime I see one of these hippogriff mounts right here, it always reminds me, oh yeah, I should probably actually try and do some of those things I never did because I wasn't playing the game back then. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I've probably mentioned this before, but I didn't start regularly playing this game until Legion was out. I first downloaded and, installed the game back when Mists of Pandaria was out, and I messed with it a bit, and I just stopped. I had come over from Star Wars The Old Republic, and it was just a whole different experience for me, and I had the wrong expectations or mindset of what I was either hoping for or wanting, and it took a long time for me to actually kind of adjust to how different WoW was to Star Wars The Old Republic when it came to, like, questing and story. Because I was used to BioWare's storytelling, not Blizzard's storytelling. So it was an adjustment for me, and I just kind of stopped. I canceled my sub and all that. When Warlords came out, I gave it another shot, partly because they had changed and updated the models, which I really liked. And I just, keep in mind, I wasn't experiencing the current content. I was still, like, trying to see what it was like actually leveling a character. So I was, like, basically still in Kata content. And I had, it was still hard for me to adjust to it. then Legion came out, and I got some motivation. And plus, at that time, I had also decided to try and really learn more about it in terms of the setting and such, and play Warcraft 3. That's when I found out about various different characters and what was going on. And so then when I found out about the artifact weapons, then I got my motivation to finally actually start playing. And that's when I started showing that playthrough that you guys have probably, or hopefully have seen. It's pretty long at this point. It's like almost 200 videos of my main playthrough, where it was basically the first time I was actually experiencing what it was like to level a character in the game from level 1. So,
Not all who wander are lost.
greetings, Miala. I have been expecting you. Interesting. This does indeed explain much. Thank you for the timely delivery, Miala. You are turning out to be one of the Hand's better agents. If only we knew who they reported to in Bloodmist, and more importantly, where the Sun Portal was. They seem to have it tightly guarded, wherever it may be. Would you be interested in some reconnaissance work? If so, take these orders back to Vindicator Boros. He will give you your next mission.
Will you join our cause?
I've never liked that voice that you just heard. I prefer the voice he had in Legion. I thought Velen's voice actor in Legion did a great job. And I just much rather preferred that voice as well. Partly because of just how good the voice actor did some of his stuff. Like, there were some moments in Legion with Velen. You can actually get capture a mouse pet right there. There were some moments in Legion with Velen that, like, that kind of got me. Just emotional moments with Velen. That I was just like, oh. Like, I just felt for Velen so much at moments like that. You know what? Hold on. We're going to go ahead and head outside and turn in this Newfound Allies quest, just so I can double check whether or not this is a, hey, head to the next area. I just want to double check. Nothing like a nice, refreshing Propel water. It almost sounded like I was trying to endorse that. There is no endorsement or sponsorship taking place with this. Trust me, I don't even have the numbers to actually monetize anything. So trust me, it's not like I'm actually making anything from any of this. Not yet, anyway. Hopefully someday. But I have a ways to go, I think, even though I've been doing this for over 6 years.
What brings you here?
Greetings, priest. What have you there? I can help you get to Aberdeen. Fortunately, it's only a short boat trip away.
May the stars guide you.
Yep, there you go. So that's the, hey, you can now go use this portal over here. Although in lore it would be you're just hopping on a ship. You can take this ship here to go to the next area, like Darnassus, or you can go to Darkshore. So yeah, basically you hop off. You can either go to Teldrassil, or you can go to Darkshore. Usually you're heading to Darkshore. Or you can go to Teldrassil and then take the portal to Stormwind. If you're wanting to go, instead of go to Kalimdor, go to the Eastern Kingdoms. So it's a nice way to be able to let you be able to figure out where you want to go when it comes to, where you want to quest. Or if you want to just go ahead and go straight into dungeons and such. I mean, after all, you are here in the Exar. Plus, there's a portal to Stormwind right in here. It's like very, like accessible. It's like right over here. So. But then again, no one ever comes to the Exodar, right? Not an alliance. That's part of the joke. You know, of why the Horde Rogue in Legion, the first target was in the Exodar compared to the other cities, because just think about it. How many Alliance players do you know that hang out, like, to take, advantage of some of the stuff that's around here, compared to either in Stormwind or Ironforge? Yeah.
Open your heart.
Not that many. Which is a shame, because the Exodar is awesome. I mean, it's a crashed spaceship. Which I know some people have a problem with. They put science fiction in my fantasy game. Like I said, I've never had an issue with that, and I just thought that the complaints about that were a little silly. But that's just me. I know there are purists out there, but I'm not one of them. I can only think of maybe a handful of things, like only a few things that I could possibly be a purist about, but saying that I would be a purist to me is still stretching it. And just notice how the water there turned from clear to red. Look at that. I mean, you could just think that all of that is like actual blood from the way it looks. It's Kool-Aid! Oh yeah! The Kool-Aid man's been here. Alright, let's give the orders from Velen to Boros. Of course, if you come here as a Draenei Paladin, you'll be like, I will be seeing you later in Legion. Since Boros is one of the bodyguards you get in Legion if you're a Paladin.
The Naru have not forgotten us.
It is a good plan, but a dangerous one. I am sure that you will be fine. I shoot magic into the darkness. Velen states that if the Blood Elves have been opening rifts between this island and the Outland, there will be residue or anomalies left in the areas where the portals have been opened. You must search the island for locations that exhibit or display these anomalies. Be warned, Miala, some of these anomalies will be creatures from the void itself. Should you find the void anomalies, slay them. I was hovering the chat window. I was trying to do this. Void anomalies, you say? Report back to me with any new information that you may find. Begin your search to the north, near the warp prison. I'm sorry, the warp piston.
Remain vigilant.
Five void anomalies slain, and a sun portal site confirmed. So this is going to be, if I know this correctly, this is going to be further proof, but, to us the players, or more so especially for, the proof that I'm trying to show you guys. Not necessarily for the Draenei, because the Draenei wouldn't really know. See, the Draenei are entirely unaware of some of the things that are going on that we know. Like, they don't know about the Blood Elves in Silvermoon that are, fighting off, going extinct, fighting off attacks from the Night Elves while they're going extinct. And the ones who are basically trying to help, the likes of the Horde against these Blood Elves. But this is just going to be like further proof that these Blood Elves are the ones who are, serving the Legion. Which, of course, for the Draenei is a big deal. So, like, they crash here and a disaster happens. They go, oh my goodness, we have caused horrible damage to the environment and this wonderful, beautiful place because of us landing here. And then they find out some other things, as a result of trying to figure out what's going on here. Then they find out about the demons, as we saw earlier with the satyrs. And that was kind of like, oh, part of the revelation that, yeah, Burning Legion demons in there. So here's the warp piston. So we can now go ahead and quickly head on back. May as well use one of the Elec mounts. I don't really like any of the regular Elec mounts that the Draenei have, but I do like this one for the Light Forged. I just like the extravagant, like seats or saddles, whichever you want to say. Like, and plus it's armored. I've always preferred like armored mounts and more extravagant looking mounts compared to just like, I'm just sitting on a horse. Okay. Compared to, I'm sitting on an armored horse with extravagant symbols and logos for morale boosting and, that's also symbolism and, stuff like that. Like what's a horse mount I can compare it to? So, like, let's just say, for example, here, just a regular brown horse. Okay. Now let's compare that to this. The Swift Palomino. It's armored up. It's got some symbols on there. Here's the Swift Mountain Horse. Though that's a different kind of horse, Now let's compare that to, say, the Seabraid Stallion armored up with some symbols there representing. And there, of course, is that. But I hope you're getting my, I hope you are getting my point there. So, anyways.
Arkenan Poros.
How many did you say that you saw at the warp piston? Just how many times have they opened up this sun portal? Oh, this is very bad news. Alas, you have learned all that I am able to teach you, Miala. Kuros will call for you when it is time.
May your days be long and your hardships.
Hey, level 30. Yeah. I can actually get another talent. Let's see. Cooldown Vampiric Embrace, and it's healing done. Heals. Yeah, we'll take that since there's no reason to use Vampiric Embrace since I don't really have any party members.
The Legion's end draws near.
We have others pursuing leads on the sun portals, Miala. I need you to focus on the task at hand. Boros has received new reports of another crash site. What we have since discovered is that the crash site is actually the Exodar's cryocore. This is a pod holding area that houses pods exactly like the ones that we Draenei crawled out of in Ammonvale. This area also holds medical supplies. Head to the cryocore directly west of Bloodwatch. Search for supplies and search for survivors.
Be kind to those less fortunate.
So now we have a pretty good idea, of what we're supposed to do, since obviously it's like, okay, Boros, now we'll get quests from Kuros, then we'll get quests from Asum, and then we will do the finale of this area. Bear, you just had to give me days and dismount me. Now, if you think this is weird, a Shadow Priest riding a Light Forged mount, keep in mind that you can make a Light Forged Draenei and make them a priest, and make them a Shadow Priest. Though, obviously, the ideal thing that you'd want to do is have them be a Holy Priest, but, because it almost seems kind of silly, the idea that, a Draenei that has been forged, has been Light Forged, would draw upon the powers of the Void. But then again, the Lightforged are about fighting demons in the Burning Legion, not the Void. Sure, the Naru are about fighting the Void, but the Army of the Light's mission, when we met them on Argus, wasn't about fighting the Void, it was about fighting the Legion. After all, they had Illyria as an ally who was clearly getting coaching and teaching about the Void from, what's his name? The Ethereal that we met on Argus and Legion. I really liked him. He was awesome, and I can't remember his name.
Target something first.
It's one of the only times I've seen him. I just realized I can actually get the medical supplies also from these guys as well. So I shouldn't just run to these things. I can also be able to just take these guys out, and they can be able to actually drop some supplies from me. There we go. 2 more. Be like, hey. 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 Dispersion. They're like, will you stop that? I'm like, why? Keep tapping the button. Oops. Ta-da! Oh, hold on. There was one more quest in here. Wait, what? How did I not pick this up earlier? His journal? Your hands tremble as you pick up the book. Kuros must be told about this tragedy. Return the book to him. Oh. Oops. Of course, we didn't have to take the journal back to, Moray, Galen's wife. She just wanted the amulet. But the book did contain information about someone else who got tortured. And that's information that Kuros definitely would want. Especially when it involved someone who's supposed to be a very highly ranked Draenei. Oh my gosh. Alright, fine. You dismounted me, you die. I run the whole way in the yak. But yeah, in case I hadn't mentioned, having this racial ability here does certainly make them a good choice if you want to play a healing spec, like either a holy priest or even a disc priest. It would give you an extra healing ability when you kind of lack some of those, but obviously that's because you're a disc priest. Or a resto shaman or a holy paladin. There's a number of different directions you can go with that.
The Naru have not forgotten us.
Vindicator Soruan. What have you got there, Miel? Is that the journal? His face turns pale as he reads the journal. Tears stream down his face. Soruan was my master, my teacher, my mentor. I took his place among the Triumvirate only recently, after we had given up searching for him. Martis! Just blood elves? No survivors? This is troubling. I'll need some time to think this through. Miala, perhaps Isam or Boros have an assignment for you to complete. Mattis will be brought to justice, Miala, and I want you to be the one to find him and bring him back to the Triumvirate. Scour the island for this killer. Should you find him, use this flare gun. When my trackers see the flare, they will come and assist in capturing Mattis. Return to me after he has been captured.
Do not lose faith.
Yeah, we'll pick up the quest from Asom after we have gone after Mattis. And I recall where he is. And he's regular, you know, let me rephrase that. He's relatively easy to spot because he will usually be riding a horse. And there are not many blood elves that are just kind of walking around on a horse. Property of the Hand of Argus. So he'll usually be kind of going down this road. Shouldn't take that long to find him. Unless another player has already done the quest and I have to wait for him to respawn, but we'll see. Mattis, where are you? You know, it's not always true that if you just stay on the road that you'll be safe from getting attacked by things. There he is. We've got you now, Mattis the Cruel. Return to Koros. I will bring him to Bloodwatch. You got it. So he was still on his horse there, but it says in the chat box that he fell unconscious. So, yeah. You guys remember what I read in that journal earlier when we did that quest for Galen's wife, right? Yeah. Yeah, Kuros is, he's not too happy about that, and he's gonna want to probably do some of that personally to him. Be like, so, do you want a taste of your own medicine? Let me give you a taste of what you did to my master, to my mentor, my friend, teacher. It's great that all this scales with me. Like, right now, it's like, oh no, I'm level 30, and yet all this stuff is scaled with me, so it's not like I'm, you know, going super past it or anything.
The Legion's end draws near.
The Triumvirate has decided to try Mattis immediately. You have brought an arch-criminal to justice on this day, young Draenei. You have performed admirably for 2 of 3. Only Asom remains.
Favor the road traveled by few.
Bring forth the Blood Elf. Like how we already had him in the cell, and now we're bringing him out for his trial. Mattis, Blood Elf Lieutenant of the Sunhawks, you have been found guilty of genocide against the Draenei people. You are to be executed at Light's Dawning. Have you anything to say for yourself? He spits at the image of Velen. May the light have mercy on your soul. Take him back to his cell. The light? I am Blood Knight, mongrel. I do not serve the light. The light serves me. If mercy is to be granted, it will be by me. You seek to martyr me before my orders? So be it. Strike me down. Another will rise in my place, and the suffering of the light, of the conquered, will continue uninterrupted. You blaspheme! The light would never allow such an aberration. The light has no choice. It does as it is commanded, just as the Naru that you hold at the core of your vessel will do when we capture and enslave it. Do my words surprise you, Blue Blood? Yes, we know. We know everything. Take him away. Move. Draenei, dog! Did you know that the one you call Saruan wept like a babe as I beat him? A feeling of euphoria coursed through me, knowing that I had a member of high rank in my grasp. Were it not for Sarunas' plans for him, I would have tortured him to death, as I do to all Draenei that I capture. Alas, I am certain that you will see him again soon. Breathe your last breath, heathen! And Kuros just killed him. And spit on his corpse. Find their source of power and tear it down. Tear all of it down. And on that note, we will continue the story with Vindicator Asum when we return. Stay tuned.